Hi everyone. On July 9th, I made a bullish call on Bitcoin and I specifically mentioned that the best way to capitalize this move on the stock market would be MicroStrategy. Since then, it's up nearly 200%. On August 7th, I made a call to long snap at the rock bottom. Since then, it's up over 42%. Now, I want to show you guys a hidden gem that I feel like is an amazing purchase and that will completely beat the market. This company is a Canadian energy company, which I believe is super undervalued and has a beautiful technical chart. So this company is Valeura. It trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange and it's pretty unknown. Before I dive into the fundamentals, I first want to mention that they have no debt and they have a cash balance of 156 million USD. Now, why I want to mention that is because I think rather than valuing this based on their market cap, I think the enterprise value is important. And while a lot of times it doesn't make sense to value based on their enterprise value since the company isn't allowing cash to return to shareholders, this company has a buyback going, so that's not the case, and I think it does make sense to use their enterprise value. So their market cap right now is 454 million USD. With their cash balance, their enterprise value is 298 million USD. By the end of this year, I'm expecting them to have 200 million USD, and management is forecasting free cash flow of 175 million next year. Using a more conservative estimate, which is my estimate of 130 million USD, adding that to the end of year cash balance, and then looking at the end of year enterprise value to free cash flow of 2025, we'd be able to come up to a value of under 1, which is insanely underpriced. Now, there may be a lot of reasons why the market's pricing it like this, but I think this is one of those few companies that actually don't have very many warts, despite having this insanely low valuation. So I want to re-mention the buybacks. So they approved the buyback in November, and they can buy back up to 10% of their outstanding shares. This obviously is going to help shareholders, it's going to create some value, and it'll definitely create some sort of floor price. They have plenty of cash to do so, and they're not going to do it recklessly. It is going to be opportunistic, so it's definitely a good thing. Now, this is very important, and this is the insider buying. Now, as Peter Lynch said, insiders might sell their shares for any number of reasons, but they only buy them for one. They think the price will rise. So as you guys see, you guys might think, well, my opinion's meaningless, but perhaps take a look at the opinions backed by their dollars of the insiders of this company. Now, with any oil company, you probably are thinking, well, what about the reserves? This is a very unique company in the sense that their reserves are increasing every year without M&A. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, how is that possible? And that's just simply due to the unique geology in the Gulf of Thailand. And I won't get into it too much. I'm not really an expert, but if you guys are interested, feel free to look it up. If you guys check the numbers, you guys can clearly see that their reserves are increasing without the M&A. And lastly, before I dive into technical analysis, I want to mention the clear risk with any company like this really is just the oil price. You know, a low oil price is going to hurt this company just like a high oil price would help. And, the oil price is definitely going to drive short-term volatility. But for the most part, this company has been very clear in good execution. And with their low valuation, it would likely take years of low oil prices for this to be a poor investment. So now looking at this chart, we can see there was a double bottom, and the value of the double bottom really is often just buying the breakout on the neckline, So the neckline would have been at 555. It broke that just 2 days ago for a clean break. And the implied move would be an equivalent move downward that it would have to move upward. You can also view this not as a double bottom. Maybe you want to view it just kind of as a company that made some sort of bull flag and then continued. You might want to view it as a cup and handle. But no matter how you look at this chart, it's pretty clear. It looks like a good chart. It looks bullish. It's a company that's hitting highs. It's above its key moving averages. And it did have time to build its base. So with that being said, I do think this company, I think now is a great time to buy. I think this is, if you want to diversify some of your capital into some sort of energy company, I think this is one of those companies that you do it. I think there's barely any downside risk compared to other companies. And I think the upside is really enormous with this. So with that being said, I wanted to reveal this company to you guys. And a lot of times I buy the dip or try to buy some sort of low. This one might be a little bit of an easier trade because it's more of a continuation trade. And for the most part, this company has proved themselves. So I hope you guys are willing to do some research and just take a look at this because I think this is a very good opportunity. But thank you guys for listening to this video. That's all for today.